Hey, hello YouTube, Trademark Kill here, and today we are continuing the countdown to RWBY. I took Sunday off just to kind of see if there's any feedback, but we are counting down. We're continuing with the countdown on October 9th, a Monday, and they are actually releasing at around noon EST, Eastern Standard Time. They are releasing the third trailer for the Volume 5 before the release. From the thumbnail, it looks like it involves Team RWBY. However, don't know if it's going to be something that is kind of like a standard breakdown trailer using scenes from the first few episodes, or if it's something like the story trailers we had for Weiss and Blake. Not too sure yet. But that's not what this video is about. Recently, we have learned that Volume 5 is going to be a 14-episode season. This is very different from the usual 12 that I believe Volume 2, 3, and 4 established. Volume 1 is a little weird because they split episodes into two parts, so you can take that as you will, however you want to count that. But we know that this is going to be 14 episodes, which could mean a few things, which is what this video is about. We are going to talk about some reasons and some happenings that could cause this season to become 14 episodes. First off, let's talk about scheduling. We haven't had any preludes of the RWBY World of Remnant that we usually get, or that we got for Volume 4. We haven't gotten the preludes that they did for us for Volume 4. We haven't gotten any World of Remnant preludes. So what this could also mean is that maybe World of Remnant is dead for right now until it needs to come back for some reason. And that they are going to be able to shift the extra animation time to more episodes, which will causing the bonus 2 episodes to make up for no World of Remnants, because they want the season to start and end at similar times to keep consistency and keep the viewer base consistent. So I wouldn't doubt that if they did this in a way like to buffer out the season to kind of replace the World of Remnants that would have happened every few episodes, like that would happen for Volume 3. So they're going to use this time to buffer out, and on top of that, because they are not going to do them, they have more resources to focus on episodes themselves. So we could be getting something. We could be getting the extra 2 episodes because they have their extra animators to dedicate and give us the extra episode because they're not working on World of Remnants. Secondly, this could be because if we looked at the final chapter of Volume 4, that video, or that episode, and the final chapter of Volume 3 were a little long. And if they were to continue something like that, the videos would get a little out of hand for the final episodes. So maybe getting 2 extra episodes is something they're trying to do to pace out the ending more than what they were able to do in the past with 25-minute episodes. I believe Volume 3 was a 20-25 minute episode. So there's that possibility that they're using this to kind of pace out the ending so that it's going to be consistently 15 to 17 minute episodes, and that they're not going to have the large time leap in the last episode that makes it 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes longer. So that's my idea of what could be happening on the technical side of RWBY. Now let's talk about some things that could happen story-wise that could possibly benefit from a extra few episodes. Number 1 is what I kind of mentioned before. They need to build something. Right now there's a lot of things they could build. New characters. We're in a new kingdom, so they could be building the new kingdom and the culture around the new kingdom, and that could take an extra episode to build. Oh, the new characters, like as I said, I was totally in it for a new team, or reviving Team Auburn and bringing them in for full time. That would have been interesting and very good to do, and would also require more time to properly establish those characters in a natural manner. So having the extra 2 episodes could produce a more natural introduction to the kingdom and new teams or new allies, as well as, going back to the first video, we could have more time to develop the villains with the extra episodes, which is what everyone's complaining out of their ass about, of the old bad guys are bad just for the sake of being bad hysteria. So if we were to look at it from that perspective, what could we be looking at in terms of what they could be building? Of course, I said bad guys. We know that Hazel is definitely in Mistral or near Mistral, because we saw him with Oz in the Oscar at the train station going to Mistral, so we know he's there and they could build him. We also know that Dr. Watt had a conversation with Leo Lionheart, which could make him give him time to be built as a bad guy and give us the backstory on either Hazel or Dr. Watts. So both of those are options and could very much benefit from having 2 extra episodes to describe these characters and their backstories, which would be incredibly helpful and would probably stop a lot of fan hysteria. Second thing that could be a massive reason to build to add 2 more episodes to the end is that they might be having a dramatic story event that they wanted to buffer out. So instead of having Pyrrha die at the last chapter and then we move forward, what could be looked at is, someone dies in would have been the last chapter, but we have 2 buffer episodes to kind of let the viewer settle in, instead of just going right to the end of the season and having to wait several months, if not a year, for the new volume to come out to follow the characters. So it could be a buffering tactic for a world-altering event. And thirdly, speaking of world-altering events, if we looked at my original video, the first one about the seasons, I have an issue with that. And here's why. I love the theory. That's why I made a video piggybacking off the seasons theory. But what I have an issue with is, are we really going to spend 4 more years or 4 more volumes in Mistral before we kind of have the fall of Mistral? That is something I do not think would happen. They've already established the bad guys, they've already established the world, and they've established a lot of danger. So they don't need to buffering it out that far. Is just going to lose you viewers, it's going to lose interest, and really leave only the hardcore of hardcore fans to remain watching, at least until the final volume of that kind of arc happens. So what could be happening is that they could be scrunching 2 seasons in this situation together. They could be making, so where volume 1 and 2 were spring and fall, or spring and winter, or whatever the hell, I can't remember what the exact order he went in was, sorry. But whatever they are going to do, this could be a combination of the 2 seasons, and then the next volume, in volume 6, would be the fall of Mistral that leads to the next step. So you kind of use the extra 2 episodes to kickstart what you're going into, and that could also become somewhat consistent with what we see going forward, where they might have permanent 14 or 15 episode seasons moving forward. So my money out of all of that is on the idea that they are using the extra 2 episodes to kickstart and to speed up the process, so we're not having 4 more volumes or 3 more volumes before the fall. And what I mean about the fall is I'm not talking about the season. I'm talking about the big dramatic battle like the Fall of Beacon was for volume 3. So they're going to use 2 volumes to do that instead of 3 to do what the original plan was for the Fall of Beacon. So we're going to hit volume 1, 2 of the new arc, right? And so we're going to scrunch those down to 1 volume. And then the second volume is going, or technically we're scrunching it down into 2 volumes. It just depends on how you count in volume 4, because I guess we can dealing with the aftermath of volume 3. So some people wouldn't answer that as a part of the arc, and it'd be more starting a new arc, which is also another reason why I kind of have another issue with the seasons theory. And I know I did a video on the seasons theory. It doesn't mean I have to agree 100% with the theory, but that's another reason. We kind of started a new arc when he said the final season would have to be, which would be winter, I believe. I believe that's how he called it. So I don't know if I agree with that 100%. So I believe that we are going to be seeing that this volume is going to be kind of a condensed version of the first arc with the Fall of Beacon arc. So instead of doing 2 or 3 volumes to get to the Fall of Beacon, we're going to do 2 at max. They could possibly start it and round it up, since it's already very obvious that the kind of events are already further in motion than they were for the Fall of Beacon. So that would be understandable if we possibly did the Fall of Mistral, if that were to be kind of the arc name, in 1 volume, volume 5. I think that even with 14 episodes, that'd be a little quick and a little too fast. So, but I wouldn't doubt if we only get 2 volumes in Mistral before we move on. So that's kind of my highlight that we're doing, is that they're trying to condense the timeline, or the amount of seasons or volumes spent on an arc, because they've already established all the things they needed to establish, but they needed 2 extra episodes to kind of help out with that pacing. Thank you guys for watching. As always, I appreciate any comments. I appreciate every subscriber and every like as well. If you have any ideas or theories, feel free to leave a comment, and I'll either address them in the comment or I'll address them in a future video. Trademark Kills out. Peace. Thank you guys for watching.